A fuel surcharge is to be charged based on the number of units consumed. Accordingly, a 25% fuel surcharge will be added to electricity bills between 0 and 30 units. A 35% fuel surcharge will be added to electricity bills ranging from 31 to 60 units, and a 40% fuel surcharge will be added to electricity bills that exceed 61 units.
The charge for a person who uses 30 units would increase by 22 rupees and 50 cents. The monthly bill for the consumption of 60 units per month will be increased by 80 rupees and 85 cents. The charge would be increased by 182 rupees and 40 cents for those who use 90 units. Furthermore, the charge for 120 units will increase by 434 rupees, while the charge for 180 units will increase by 1,010 rupees and 40 cents.
A 15% fuel surcharge would be imposed on the industries and hotels sector, while a 25% fuel surcharge would be imposed on state universities and vocational training institutes. The Public Utilities Commission stated that religious institutions, hospitals and state schools will be exempted from this fuel surcharge. Journalists question on how a further increase in fuel prices could impact electricity tariffs.
We are legally bound to provide a fair cost price to all those involved in electricity generation, the electricity board, as well as those involved in other aspects like power transmission. If the government states that it cannot bear the increasing costs but that it should be provided, then we have to implement a mechanism. But if the government decides that the increasing cost would be absorbed by the government, then prices would not increase.
Maldives President Dr. Mohammed Wahid, at a press briefing held at the President's house today, or rather office today, announced that he has nominated Wahid Deen to the post of Vice President of the island nation. Deen's appointment comes after President Dr. Mohammed Wahid stressed that he would appoint a Vice President with no political affiliations. News First Ramesh Irugal Bandara, who is in the Maldives, was at the press briefing.
And then one very important reason for me to also come in front of you today is to announce that I have chosen the person that I would like to serve as my Vice President. And I found Mr. Wahid Deen to be the best choice. I'm very confident that as a team we will be able to serve this country very effectively.
And I'm still officially not the Vice President. I will be the Vice President only when the Majlis accepts it. And it is my responsibility to serve the nation. When the nation is going in this direction, violence, destruction, innocent people losing jobs, especially young people losing jobs, I do not want to see that. I want to see that everybody, every party, treated equally.
Meanwhile, Sri Lanka's High Commissioner in the Maldives, Dixon Della, had met the President of the Maldives, Dr. Mohammed Wahid, in Male last evening. According to our reporter on location in Male, Ramesh Irugal Bandara, the EU delegation that arrived in the Maldives recently had met ousted President Mohammed Nasheed today.
Sri Lanka's High Commissioner to the Maldives, Dixon Della, met the Maldivian President Mohammed Wahid at the Presidential Palace yesterday. The current situation in the Maldives had been the topic of discussion at the meeting. Meanwhile, the delegation of representatives accredited to the Maldives from the European Union held a discussion with the former President of Maldives, Mohammed Nasheed, today. The delegation includes representatives from Germany, France, Italy, the Netherlands, as well as from the United Kingdom. The former chairperson of the MDP and Member of Parliament, Maria Adidi, speaking to our reporter on location, had said that the other parties are also keen on early elections.
They say that there are indications from the other sides as well for an early election. So we hope that we are able to pull this, because I don't see any reason why they should be frightened to go to the people if they are the result of a popular uprising. The EU was saying that the other parties are also positive towards an early election.
For the very latest on the situation in the Maldives, we now cross over live to News First Ramesh Bandara, who is in Male via Skype. Now, Ramesh, we know that Mohammed Wahid was nominated as the Vice President today. Now, when will he legally be appointed to the post?
Mr. Wahid was nominated as the Vice President by President Mohammed Wahid, and he will be the legal Vice President of the island nation only when his name is accepted by the People's Majlis, which is the Maldivian Parliament. Now, meanwhile, President Dr. Mohammed Wahid appointed Dr. Hassan Said as a special advisor to the President. Mr. Said accepted the letter of appointment this afternoon at the President's office. Jane?
Also, Ramesh, now can you brief us on the current situation in the Maldives? Now, are there protests organized by the opposition?
Well, Shane, protests are still continuing in Male. In fact, there is a pro-Mohammed Nasheed rally currently taking place near the artificial beach in Male. Meanwhile, another protest was held this afternoon that was opposite the Tsunami Memorial, which is also in Male. And I should add that signatures were collected during the protest for a petition calling on the current president to step down and hand over power to the parliament. Jane?
Thanks a lot, Ramesh, for that comprehensive report from the Maldives.
Sir Alan Hazelhurst, the chairperson of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association Executive Committee, says that they hope that Sri Lanka will convince the world that the values of the association are treasured in Sri Lanka as well. He made this comment during a media briefing held by a visiting CPA delegation in Colombo. The CPA delegation is in Colombo to look into the preliminary preparation work carried out by Sri Lanka to host the CPA conference in Colombo later this year.
I think at this particular time, what is happening in Sri Lanka is of special interest to her brothers and sisters in the Commonwealth family, and we are all wishing Sri Lanka well in the process of reconciliation and accountability on which it has embarked. And we are all hoping that Sri Lanka is going to convince the world beyond the Commonwealth that the values of the CPA and the Commonwealth as a whole are values which are treasured in this country as well.
The Commonwealth Parliament Conference will be held in Sri Lanka between the 7th to the 15th of September this year at the BMICH.
The only institution in this country which deals with the field of judicial medicine, which falls under the Ministry of Health, is the Institute of Judicial Medicine and Toxicology. The mortuary, which comes under this institute and renders an invaluable service in terms of providing medical expertise in the sacrosanct duty of serving justice, is popularly known as the police mortuary. While such a mortuary exists in Kandy, it is administered by the police department. This means that the mortuary attached to the Institute of Judicial Medicine and Toxicology is the only mortuary in the country which comes under the Ministry of Health. Therefore, bodies from outstation areas are also brought to this mortuary, which is situated in Colombo. This is done in order to ensure that correct medical conclusions will be arrived at when determining the death of a person. In this task, the assistance of a magistrate from the Colombo jurisdiction or a coroner is required. This is because prior to conducting an autopsy and a post-mortem examination, an inquest must be carried out by a magistrate or a coroner. As the Institute of Judicial Medicine and Toxicology has no option but to act in accordance with the law, this mortuary has become a warehouse for corpses. Corpses are stored for weeks and even months. I have seen corpses being stored in refrigeration units for up to 6 months without a post-mortem examination being carried out. According to the Chief Judicial Medical Officer in Colombo, the inquests on bodies which are sent to this mortuary take place without delay only when the services of a magistrate are obtained. In addition to magistrates from the Colombo jurisdiction, the responsibility of conducting inquests rests with the Colombo Urban Coroner, the Colombo Additional Coroner and the Colombo North Coroner. There is a group of coroners. The problem here is that measures are not being taken to commence and conclude post-mortem examinations. The problems that have arisen due to the delay in conducting inquests into bodies that are directed to this mortuary have become more complex.
තැන්පත් කළ හැකි සීතකරණ පහසුකම් තියෙනවා. දැන් මේ වන විට 54ක් කිසිම ආකාරයකින් ක්‍රියාව.
There are refrigeration units for 60 corpses in the mortuary. Of these, 54 have become unusable. Their coils have deteriorated with the poisonous gases. Maintenance work was being carried out by the Ceylon Electricity Board. Last year they withdrew from this, saying they were unable to continue it.
මේම නඩත්තු කටයුතු කළේ මේ පසුගිය වසරේ විදුලි බල මණ්ඩලය නඩත්තු කටයුතු කරන්න බෑ කියලා ඉවත් වුණා.
While the Ministry of Justice has disregarded the responsibility of providing a solution to delayed inquests, the Ministry of Health has allowed 54 of the 60 refrigeration units at the mortuary to rust away and has transferred the responsibility of repairing the 6 barely working refrigeration units to a private institution. However, bodies are being stored in all 60 refrigeration units. Shouldn't steps be taken immediately to prevent an environmental and health crisis and also to protect the sacrosanct judicial process? Secretaries to the Ministries of Health and Justice, this one is over to you.
The Department of Meteorology states that the prevailing inclement weather could continue for the next 2 days. People residing in several areas have been severely inconvenienced as a result of the heavy showers experienced across the island.
It is currently the northeastern monsoon period. Cloudy skies could be witnessed in several parts of the island today. Showers and thunder showers can be expected in the eastern, Uva and north central provinces. The seas of the western, southern and southeastern areas may be choppy. Several areas in the Ampara district have been inundated owing to the heavy showers experienced in the past few days. A large area of cultivated land has been destroyed by the floods. Farmers state that their cultivations will be badly affected if showers continue over the next couple of days as well. Low-lying areas and roads in the Batiklo district were also submerged owing to the heavy showers. Meanwhile, trees had fallen in the Nartupana area along the Matugama main road in Horana owing to the incessant rains experienced last evening. With the heavy downpour experienced yesterday, several areas in Colombo went underwater. Those residing along the Kolonnava road in Megodo area in Velampitia were severely inconvenienced by the heavy showers. This was because although construction work began on the road to lay a pipeline nearly 1.5 months ago, the work remains incomplete. We are severely inconvenienced. Our clothes get dirty because of all the potholes. We are asking this government or any responsible authority to take immediate measures regarding this problem. The highest rainfall of 205.0 millimeters was recorded in the Negombo area in the 24 hours ending at 8:30 this morning. Here are some of the other rainfall figures.